Welcome to Epi Studios. I'm happy to be here with you again. Thank you again for watching my videos. If you remember, the last tutorial that we did was of this beautiful young lady. So here she is with us, and today she will be presenting to you the new crochet stitches that we're going to be working on. So out of this book, we have been learning several crochet stitches, and today I would like to share with you and create with you these new crochet stitches. Some of you might be familiar with them, some of you may not be familiar. So remember that this is our segment where we create stitches together, and we in the next segment or in the next tutorial, we create a beautiful piece, a beautiful garment, or a beautiful tote. Many different things that you can do with these stitches. So today, in the past tutorial of this segment, we learned how to do the double crochet. And today we're going to learn 3 more stitches. We'll review the double crochet and we will learn how to do the treble crochet. We will also learn how to do the the Pico Stitch, and many of you are very familiar with that stitch. Many of you may not be familiar with that stitch. So here we go. We're going to be creating the Pico, and we're also going to be doing the treble, and that was in the page before. And in the next page, we're going to be creating the iris stitch, which is this one right here. This stitch you can use in many garments. I have previously used it. If you saw my video, my first video where I'm wearing a black sweater, that sweater was created in this stitch. So let's go ahead and start. Grab your hook, any yarn for this stitch creation. You need it, any yarn will do, and scissors and the hook of your choice. So let's go ahead and start. We will go ahead and review the double crochet, and then we'll move on to the treble crochet. For purposes of being able to view, I always use color yarn because I believe it's easier for you to see it in the video. So here we go. I will going to do my slip knot, and this is how I do my slip knot. Make a loop, make it tight, and there you go. Bring it down a little bit. Then we're going to create 10 chains. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is for review purposes. So we have 10 chains. Out of those 10 chains, the last 3 we will use has the first double crochet going up. Then you're going to grab some yarn, and on the 4th chain going backwards, you're going to put your hook through that chain, grab some yarn, pull it through, grab some yarn, pull it through 2, grab some yarn, pull it through the last 2 again. Grab some yarn, go to your next chain, pull it through, grab some yarn, pull it through, grab some yarn, pull it through 2, grab some yarn, pull it through 2. There you go. This is a double crochet. So if you see in the picture, we have created our chains. We use the last 3 chains to go up. Then we grab some yarn, and on the 4th chain coming back, we enter our hook, then we grab some yarn, and we pull through 2, and in the last step, you pull through the last 2. Okay, now we're going to move on to the treble. I learned the treble has the triple crochet. I don't know how you use it, if you call it treble or triple. For me, it's easier triple. So I'm going to undo my double crochet, and we're going to use the same chains from the previous stitch, just chain 2 more because I undid those 3. So for that treble crochet, you're going to use 4 chains to go up. Okay, that's the only that's one of the difference. So you're gonna grab yarn twice, 4 chains from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going on the 5th one, going backwards from your hook. You're going to enter through that chain, grab some yarn, pull it. You see that? Grab some yarn, gonna pull it through 2. You end up with 3 loops. Grab some yarn, gonna pull it through 2 more. Grab some yarn, pull it through 2. See the difference? You pull through twice, 3 times. Let's do it again. See, I grab some yarn twice. Use my finger to hold it. The next chain, you're gonna go in through that chain. Always go through the 2 legs. That gives you more support. Grab some yarn, pull it through. You end up with 4 loops. Grab some yarn, pull it through 2. Grab some yarn, pull it through 2 more. Grab some yarn, pull it through the last 2. There you go. That is your treble crochet. Let's finish the row. Grab some yarn twice. There you go. Let's do one more. Grab some yarn twice. There we go. I'm trying not to speak too much because some of the ladies told me that I talk too much, so I will try to give you as much information as possible without talking so much. Here we go. And the last one. See what happened? It got undone. Not a problem. We just do it again. Your last chain. Grab some yarn, pull through 2, grab some yarn, pull through 2, and the last 2. And there you go. You have your treble stitch. So if you notice, the treble is a lot longer than the double crochet. Treble. Okay. So let me see if you can make it closer for you, give you a close-up. Okay, I think that's a little bit closer. Okay, and let me show you what the treble looks like, the difference. Here's our treble. I know it's a darker yarn, but I'm pretty sure you can see it. I'll get it closer to you. Treble. The stitch is a lot longer compared to the double crochet. In the treble, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. In the double crochet, look at the difference. It's this short, this much shorter. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And see the difference? So here we go. You have learned how to do a double crochet, now a treble crochet. Excellent. Now we're going to learn how to do, I'm going to undo my piece so I can use the same for the next stitch. The next stitch is called Iris. This is the iris stitch. It's a very simple stitch to do, but it looks beautiful. If you can see the book, it is a beautiful stitch, and it gives you drape. The piece that you will create with this stitch will let it be very loose, very drapey, very flowy. So you have to consider the stitches to use depending on the project that you want to do. So let's go ahead and start doing our iris. Some of you might know this stitch has a different name, so that's okay. So I'm gonna make a little bit more chains just to be able to show you, and let's go ahead and start. So I'm gonna go up with 3 chains, and then immediately I'm gonna start doing my iris. So I'm not going to do it on the first chain. I'm going to do it on the next, on the following. And I'm going to start 2 chains down. I'm going to start my iris. Iris is composed of double crochets. So here we go. We're starting our first double crochet. There's 1 in the same hole, the same chain. You want to do 2. There you go. 2 double crochets separated by a chain. Chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets in the same chain space. And then you will end up with your stitch. There you go. 3 chains going up. We left 2 at the bottom, so you can see the difference. And there is our first iris. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of our chain spaces. So you are not going to chain after doing your stitch. You're just going to grab some yarn, and you're going to leave 3 chains on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. On the 4th one, you're going to put your next iris. 1 double crochet, grab some yarn, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and we want 2 more double crochets in the same space. 1, 2. Excellent. Let's do the next one. Grab some yarn, leave 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then the next one. Remember, you're doing 2 double crochets separated by a chain and 2 more double crochets in the same chain space on your base, and you are done. See, there it is. This is your iris. Let's finish with a double crochet at the end in your last chain space so you can have a completed row. Here we go. Here is your iris stitch. If you see your instructions, you're completing 2 rows according to the instructions. And this iris, if depending on what you're doing, you are able to space it more in the middle, in between, or make it closer at the bottom, depending on what you are creating, what type of piece you're creating. That's what is going to dictate how you use this stitch in your next work. So what can you create, or what can you do with this stitch? Well, like I said earlier, you can make a sweater, you can make a beautiful shawl, you can make a bag, a tote, you can make many wonderful things. So this is our shell stitch, and here is the swatch. And this is what it will look like if you're creating any work made out of this stitch. This is what it will look like, and look how pretty. This is the front, this is the back. So you can see the difference between the back and the front, but it's still a beautiful stitch. Look how beautiful it is. It can actually create beautiful columns, and depending on what you're doing, this will look beautiful. So fabulous. You guys have created 3 stitches. So let's do our last stitch. Our last stitch is called the Pico. And I just lost one of the beautiful lady ships. I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys. And so our Pico is literally a stitch that is made of 3 chains or more chains, depending on what you're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and start. We already have a chain created, so I will be frogging my work just to let you see how easy it is. I'm going to undo about 4 chains there, and I'm going to be grabbing my hook, and all I'm doing is I'm going to leave that chain space, and I'm going to create 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And in the same last chain that you came out of, and you will be able to see this better once we create the other side. In the same chain space, you're going to go in, and you're going to do a slip stitch right there. That leaves you a little bump. Okay, you can do a slip stitch in the other next 2 chains, just so we can go down the line on this chain, so our Pico is not close to each other, so you can see it better. Okay, so we're down the line. Now we're gonna chain 3, and then in the same chain that you came out of, you're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch. I like it better doing the slip stitch because it looks tighter, brings the stitch closer to the bottom. Okay, we're going to, in the next 2 chains, we're going to do a slip stitch so we can keep moving ahead, and then we're going to create another Pico. So let's Pico again. 1, 2, 3. Back in the same chain, you're going to attach it, and you're going to slip stitch. Again, you're going to move 2 chains forward just by doing a slip stitch. Pico is usually used to give it a touch to your pieces, to flowers, to give it a beautiful touch, and to make your piece a little bit more embellished. And I will show you in a minute. So moving 2 rows, 2 chains down, so we can go ahead and do another Pico. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Attach it to the same. There we go. And last one. We're almost there. 1. Since we only have 2 left, we're going to do another Pico in there. 1, 2, 3. Enter it in here with a slip stitch. Of course, if it stays on your hook. Okay, and then chain your last stitch. You can barely see it because we have stretched it a lot, but if you can do your last stitch there, just for purposes of the tutorial. And this is what the Pico looks like. So it creates that little bump, those little bumps. See? It's very simple. You can use this to make many different things. I will leave some pictures for you of this beautiful, what I will call a beautiful sun scarf. And that will be our next tutorial. And you will be using this stitch for our beautiful surprise sun scarf. And this is what it will look like if you do it with doing half double crochets in the first row and then doing picots in the next row. Just the way that it was done here. They created half double crochets, or depending on the project that you're working, you can do single crochet and then the picot. So it's up to you, depending on the project that you're working. So today we have learned 3 new stitches. We learned the picot, we learned the treble crochet, and we learned our beautiful iris. So we have 3 stitches that we learned today. And what can you do? I always, as a beginner crocheter, you always ask yourself, I've been crocheting since I was 6 years old. So that was one of the questions that I used to ask myself. Okay, I know how to do this couple of stitches, because when you're a beginner, you might only know a couple. So what do you do? What exactly can you create? And that's the puzzling piece, because you might not know what else can you do if you create this stitch. Okay, is my piece going to be all made out of this stitch? Or can I incorporate some double crochets at the beginning and then do the iris? Or can I do all treble? Depending on the yarn that you are using for the project that you want to do. To me, the treble crochet, it crochets faster because you are growing your piece very fast, but it leaves a lot of holes, right? Because of the space. And so you will have to decide what stitch suits better for the project that you want to design. The texture, the yarn, the stitch, the design dictates what is the best stitch for you to use. In our next project, we are using these 3 stitches: treble, single crochet, and the iris. So we're using all these 3 plus our picot. So please go ahead and review the video. Please go ahead. These are basic stitches for beginner crocheters. And we will use all 4 of these stitches in our next project. And I will leave you a beautiful surprise picture at the end of our class today. Let me show you one more stitch, and this is just an advanced tip. We are going to be creating this beautiful stitch. If any of you can tell me what's the name of this stitch. This stitch, I love it because you do not see rows. You do not see at all. You can barely see it, so it's perfect for a garment. Look at the texture. Look, it gives you almost a 3D. It is beautiful. I have a piece already created with this, and it turned out with this stitch. It turned out beautiful. So let me just give you a little hint. It's a very easy stitch. If you open it even more, it looks even better. Look how beautiful it looks. But I like it the way, the texture. So I started using this yarn and for the piece for the garment, and I do not like the way it flows. It doesn't drape, and it's the yarn, it's not the stitch itself. So that's why I stopped. But you can go ahead and let me know if you know what stitch this is. I will be very curious if you can tell what this is called. I know it by one name, and you might know it by another name, but go ahead and let me know. Leave me your comments, and let's go ahead and try to learn this stitch in our next tutorial. And today we are done. Just a little update for you. We are very close to our giveaway. We are very close to having our 500 subscribers. So I'm very grateful to you for all your love and your support. And please keep on watching. I have many surprises for you. And let's go ahead and learn our next garment or our next tutorial, our next class. And see you soon. And please say goodbye to the little ladies here. Goodbye. See you soon. If you haven't not watched the tutorial when we made this beautiful lady, please stay tuned. Keep watching the channel and you will see the tutorial for this young lady. Thank you again. Thank you for watching, and stay with me, and we will keep learning together and sharing forever. Thank you again. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.